And welcome back to Speedrun Ragnarok. I am High Spirits. I will be hosting for the next couple of runs. Up next is the Zelda 1 Randomizer race between Von, Sparkover, a GliitchWiitch, and a Demarine 2. On the comms tonight for this race will be a Leggy Starscream and a Meg Mac Attack. So I'm going to pass it over to them, and they're going to yap about this race.
Hey, y'all. Fancy seeing everyone here today. I'm Leggy Starscream, and I'm joined, as mentioned, by Meg Mac Attack.
Hello.
And today we've got some spicy Z1 action for you all. I'm just going to count the runners down to get started, so Meg... Oh, apparently there's no audio.
Oh, I guess we should do the introductions again, shouldn't we?
They're hearing video beeps, but they're not hearing our lovely dulcet tones.
Okay, they're hearing us now. I guess we could do redo introductions, huh?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay, back to the top. Welcome back to Speedrun Ragnarok. My name is High Spirits, and I will be hosting the next couple of runs. Coming up next is the Zelda 1 Randomizer Full Shuffle Flags race between Von, Sparkover, GliitchWiitch, and Demarine 2. On the call for this race will be our commentators, Leggy Starscream and Meg Mac Attack. I will pass it over to them and enjoy the race.
Hi, I'm Leggy Starscream, and coming in shortly behind me doing introductions is Meg Mac Attack.
Hey, I'm Meg Mac Attack.
And it's been a while since we've done Z1R together, hasn't it?
Yes, it has been a little while.
But we're here to provide you all with commentary on this fantastic four-way race between four very fantastic runners. I'm going to go count them in. So, Meg, do you mind explaining some of what we're going to see from this flag set?
Sure. The flag set that is being played tonight is based on the 2017 Swiss flag set, which was used in a Swiss tournament in 2017, obviously, but with some new features added, including Dungeon Heart Shuffle, which is going to make this a little bit torturous for our runners, because it makes it so that every heart container in the game is mixed into the item pool, and it means that there are way more checks to do than there used to be. Otherwise, the big thing is that the dungeon shapes are changed, and that means that they're automatically generated. So they do not look like they do in the vanilla game.
Yeah, the one big thing we aren't shuffling in this particular flag set is where that wooden sword is. This is a marathon. We want to make sure that things start off nicely for these runners.
Yeah, and that's an unusual flag. It's actually a very nice flag to set because it's usually you have to go find the sword in Zelda 1 Randomizer before you can even really start actually fighting things, and that gives them all a pretty big head start on being able to actually get anywhere in this seed.
Yeah. Ooh. Looks like Sparko's already found level 7. The second room being guarded by a a dig dogger.
Which you need a recorder to defeat, which could basically make this dungeon not very accessible at the moment, depending on how these other rooms turn out.
Well, one of them's Blue Dark Nuts. Vonnie's found the first Any Roads. Does not look like he's opting to explore those quite yet, but those could either be really nice and be a nice way to travel to the various far-flung corners of the map, or they could just point you right where you already are and be basically useless. Right above those Any Roads, though, Vonnie does find the Armos item hidden under one of the 5 screens with the Armos statues is a key item for the seed, and in this case, it's the ladder, which allows our runners to go to 2 extra locations, a vanilla dungeon and a it's a heart container. Unfortunately, we're having a bit of technical difficulties over here, so I'm just trying to keep on top of what's going on, make sure everyone knows what's going on. It looks like Demi has found the white sword item in one of the caves. Is going to be an old man with a key item. In order to get that key item, you need somewhere between 4 and 6 hearts of life, and in this case it's the any key, which is a really, really nice pickup. It'll let our runners basically ignore an entire resource for the entire game once they get the required heart containers.
Yeah, so far this seed has actually been really nice to them, showing them the ladder and the any key fairly early. Even though they can't pick up the any key yet, it will not be long before they'll be able to pick that up. So this is the kind of seed where it looks really nice at the start, and then usually that means that something horrible is going to happen later on.
Yeah.
Probably silvers and 9.
Sparko has picked up a blue candle from what I'm presuming is a pick any spot. Might have been the shop.
I believe that was a shop, actually, yes.
Yeah. Blue candle allows you to burn down bushes, which opens a fair number of checks, plus it's a reasonably useful early combat item.
Yeah, in seeds where you don't have the sword to start with, the candle can be extremely helpful to get you through some combat blocks early on, as long as you can kill things in with one flame, because you only get to use it 1 time per screen.
Yeah. And of course, early on, these sorts of races are going to be a little chaotic as our runners are exploring the different far-flung corners of the map. We're going to see a lot of the runners retracing the other steps based off of the order in which they explore these early screens. Meg, as someone who's played this game, what are you trying to find as you go looking around and doing your early checks?
Mostly you want to find all the levels, because you need a Triforce out of every single one of them. So you're trying to find the levels. Usually you'd be trying to find the sword. You're trying to find the Armos item, which is generally basically free as long as you know how to navigate the overworld, and the ladder item. And you're basically looking for only a handful of items in this game compared to some other randomizers. The only items that are absolutely almost always necessary to beat a seed are some kind of a sword, and the arrows, the silver arrows, and the boomer, and not the boomerang. The boomerang is absolutely not necessary at all, and the bow. The ladder is almost always required, but not actually always. There's an occasional rare seed where you do not actually need the ladder, but most people consider it required for go mode. People will not usually go into 9 without it.
Yeah, speaking of level 9, it looks like level 9 is 1 screen to the right of start, and we have level 3 on Demi's screen, found 1 square south of where the ladder item is.
And it's Wizrobes in level 3. That's exciting.
Ooh.
A lot of the enemies in this game, if you're used to later Zelda games, are considerably more scary than they are in later games. Wizrobes in particular, like if you're used to them in Link to the Past, especially the vanilla game, Wizrobes are not really that scary. But in Zelda 1, red Wizrobes in particular, their beams do the most damage of any enemy in the game at 4 hearts with no ring. So they are an extreme threat, and blue Wizrobes just like warp around the screen all over the place and hit you really, really hard.
Yeah. So we've got a bunch of our runners running around the overworld, trying to find things. Really nice price on bombs in those shops today, at only 6 rupees each.
Yeah, that's a really good price on bombs. If when you see that, it means that bombs are nearly free in the seed. Like, you don't need to worry too much about being able to find them, because you'll just be able to buy them if you really, really need them.
Yeah.
They can be as much as like 20 rupees, I think, maybe a little more.
Yeah, somewhere around there. It might even be upwards of 30.
And again, again with the comparison with later games, rupees are precious in this game. You have a max of 255, which you can see that Cat has already gotten up to that maximum of 255 rupees, and you cannot fill it any more than that. And that means that you can be picking up rupees all day, and they don't actually help you buy anything. So that can be a problem if you find a big secret, which can have up to like over 100 rupees given to you at a time.
And given the fact that all of our racers have a lot of cash running around, I think we missed an early big secret just with the stream bufferings. Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, in the shops there are a couple of items that our runners might want to be buying. So first and foremost is the ever-expensive blue ring, which when bought means that our runners will only be taking half damage from all enemies, which is really, really good until you find the red ring, which is a dungeon item that reduces things down to a quarter, and unfortunately they don't stack. Our runners might also want to buy the bait, which can be used for some interesting combat maneuvers, but mostly is used to clear a block which may or may not appear in one of the dungeons. And finally, our runners will find arrows for sale, which are not the silver arrows, they're just the standard wooden arrows, but they allow use of the bow if you don't actually find the silvers until late.
The really fun thing is when you get a seed that has so arrows can be required if an important item or a Triforce is blocked by a Goma, which is the crab-like single eye enemy that you may recognize from later Zelda games. It looks a little different though. But if the silver arrows are blocked by a Goma, that means that you have to buy normal arrows just to get the silver arrows in order to finish the game, and that's always one of the most galling things that can happen in a Zelda 1 randomizer seed.
Yeah. Right up there with, Go mode being bait blocked.
Yeah, and bait is a really rare block. Like, it's pretty rare that you actually need bait. Sometimes I would, if I had like a lot of money and I didn't really know what to do with it, if I didn't know what to do with the money, I would just buy some bait just in case, and that has actually helped me a couple times, but not too often. And that was actually the raft, not the ladder in the Armos item. Yes. I think you said it was the ladder before.
I might have misspoke, and it looks like the ladder item on the coast is just a heart container.
Which is something that we're going to see a lot of. Heart containers in places that you don't really want to see them. the dungeons, because of the heart container shuffle, that means that every dungeon has at least 2 items in it, as opposed to the usual at least 1 item in it. And at least one of those items, and some of the dungeons can have up to 3. And the thing about if there's 3 is that you could actually have like level 8, for example, which tends to be very large in shapes, have 3 heart containers in it that you spend a really long time digging for.
Yeah. On the other hand, you could have the other level that could have 3 key items. Level 1, which is by far the smallest dungeon, based off of the underlying algorithms, having like silver arrows, the bow, and the ladder.
Also, it appears a couple of our players bought the blue ring, I think.
Yeah, it was, fairly standard blue ring prices at, like, I think it was $244? But, that's going to really help with exploration, because there are some really nasty enemies floating around this overworld that seem to be causing our runners a bit of strife.
Although I have not seen, so I believe enemy group shuffle, including overworld enemies, is on, but I have not actually seen any particularly unusual shuffles.
Yeah.
Everything on the overworld appears to just be normal overworld enemies.
Yeah, I think it might not actually be on based off of what I'm seeing.
The groups are odd, so I believe that it probably is.
Yeah,
Let me just
maybe.
double check the flags.
Yeah. For better and worse, Z1R has a lot of flags in it that can produce really, really interesting behaviors. But yeah, what the heart container shuffle means is that in every dungeon except for level 8, there will be at least 1 item that is either on the floor of the dungeon right away, or will be appearing after our runners clear a room of enemies. Additionally, most dungeons outside of level 2 will have at least 1 staircase in a dungeon that leads to an item room. Each dungeon has a known set of things, and there will be a whole bunch of heart containers, plus all of the standard key items that you know and love from this video game. Notably, one of the items that's often expected to be contained in this shuffle, a big secret of 128. Ugh. So that's actually a pretty nice big secret.
Yeah, that's a huge big secret. Although when you said 200, I was like, I'm not sure that's possible.
Look, it's late. It's been a long marathon. We're all a little tired.
We are all a little tired. It's true.
So Vonnie's doing the check we get from the raft. Looks like just a either a small or medium secret. I think that's actually in range for both. Demi's doing a dive into level 5, being our first real spelunker of the seed.
Oh, Blue Land Molar Room, those are always really scary, especially when you're kind of early in the seed and you have a lot of resources. The Blue Land Molas hit very, very hard, and are quite difficult to kill because they're just constantly moving around the room.
Yeah. The raft was at an Armos item that was pretty early on, so it wouldn't surprise me to see that most of the runners have the raft at this point.
I think they all do.
Yeah, so our staircase item in 5 is a heart container.
And that still leaves one item in 5 that could be in literally any room of the dungeon, which is where this gets kind of frustrating at times.
Yeah, because normally in these dungeons.
Oh, and we have our first triangle.
Woo!
Emerine gets the first triangle in level 5. Yeah, let's have some Doritos in chat.
Yeah, where this gets exciting is normally those items you're seeing just in these random rooms.
Oh, and Sparko gets a triangle also in level 8.
Nice. These random items you're seeing in the dungeon rooms are usually the heart containers, but since those heart containers are mixed in with all of the other items in the dungeons, hunting things down becomes a little scarier.
Yeah, so yeah, basically any what it basically means is that until you found all the items in a dungeon, still searching for them, it means that any given room, well, almost any room, there are some heuristics you can use to know whether or not a room can have an item drop or not, but for the most part, you're going to be fighting enemies in every single room in order to find what was the heart container drop, which in Randomizer without heart container shuffle, you could just ignore. You could just say, I don't need more heart containers, and usually you'd end up with more than enough by the end of the seed anyways.
Yeah.
But it means that
what you find and the 4 that are on the overworld plus the 1 in the item pool that's normally at the ladder spot.
Yeah. The 4 on the overworld are essentially free. It's just a matter of searching for them long enough to find them. So
looks like GliitchWiitch is also in level 8 right now.
And we have a map for level 8 also from Sparkover.
Yeah, looks like there's a bit of a troll staircase in there, unfortunately.
It looks like Bart Simpson's skull to me. That's a game people play with Zelda 1 Randomizer also, is like name that ink blot. We call the maps ink blots because they kind of have like a vague shape, and so yeah, feel free whenever a new map is found in a level, if you think that it looks like something and it's not inappropriate, go ahead and say what you think.
Canonize that name for the seed.
Sorry?
Donate $5 and we'll canonize the name for the seed and refer to the ink blot as nothing but that. I have that authority, right?
I will allow it.
I feel like you do, yeah. Oh, and Sparko doing a really nice block clip into that to bypass the Goma. That is one of the ways that we don't need to worry about some of the blocks, and why arrow blocks are often not a thing in this. Technically, by logic, you are supposed to kill the Goma in order to get into that staircase, but you can actually clip into the block from below or above. And it's a fairly simple trick. It doesn't require any frame perfect inputs or anything. It's just a buffered stab in a different direction, in a perpendicular direction, and it just moves you into the block, and you can just bypass it.
If there's one trick that every Zelda 1 runner should know, it's that one, because it is that easy. Once you understand how to line yourself up for it, it is basically free. Unfortunately, this time doesn't really pay off, because down that staircase was nothing but our friend the Boomerang, affectionately known as Lord Banana.
But at least it was the right Boomerang.
Yes. So the basic Boomerang, the yellow Boomerang, Lord Banana, is the, quote, correct Boomerang. It's got a bit of a shorter throw distance, which means you can control it a little better, compared to the inferior model, the blue or magic Boomerang. As you can see on Sparko's screen, the boomerang only goes about halfway horizontally across the screen, as opposed to the magic boomerang, which goes all the way, meaning that even if you miss from one side of the room, you do get a fairly rapid throwing pattern, which can be super useful.
Yeah, it really sucks to have the boomerang on the other end of the screen when you want to throw it again and actually make another attempt at hitting something.
And also, Sparko did a trick with the blue land molas there. Big, do you want to explain that one?
Yeah, so the game, once you kill one of the blue land molas, one of the land molas applies to several other group enemies like that, boss enemies. The room is marked as cleared already from the one being killed, and so when you leave and come back in, the enemy is not there anymore, even though you only killed one of the land molas. There are a bunch of tricks about along those lines to make it so that you have an easier time with enemies. You can also, if you have like a room that has a bunch of really hard enemies and a couple of easy ones, you can leave the room and come back in, and it will respawn the enemies in an order defined by the room that might have the easier enemies on lower increments, and that means that you only have to fight the easier enemies if you just keep leaving and coming back in.
Yeah, and so we some of our runners have already attempted that trick, which allows you to go in and, for instance, you saw that in some of the rooms with the Pulse Voice, the Hopping Bunny enemies, and the snakes. At least one runner was doing a strategy where they'd kill off the snakes, go back in, and see which different enemies were now in there, hoping to see more snakes and less Pulse Voice.
Oh, we just got a couple more Triforces. Kat just got the Triforce from level 5, and Vanny has been diving level 1 and got the Triforce from there. And we also have the inferior model in level 1, which Vanny picked up.
On a floor or staircase?
Floor. Which level 1 will have 2 items on the floor because one of them is the heart container.
And
yes, Vanny has the any key as well, as does Demi.
You can tell because next to their key amount is an A, which is, 1, basically means locked doors aren't a thing anymore. And 2, if you come to a... I forget what the nickname for the room is, but there are occasionally rooms and dungeons that say, leave a key or a heart container or some money, or there's one other thing they might want you to bombs.
Mugger rooms.
They want you to leave keys, and you have the any key. You have an infinite number of keys, so you just leave keys and don't worry about it.
Yep.
Yeah, those are mugger rooms. They steal from you.
And the staircase item in 1 is a heart container.
Yep. So that's 3 of the 9 heart containers that are in these dungeons.
So I got a second here to butt in?
Go for it.
If you don't mind? Yep. Okay. We haven't gotten any donations yet, so unfortunately, you're not going to have to name everything after something specific. But I did want to remind everyone that after this race also is Vonnie Von's going to be running Star Tropics, and we don't have any file names. Anything will snag you that file name. So if you want to get a chance to name something for Vonnie, go right ahead. And I just want to remind everyone that we are here raising money for Take This. Take This is an organization that I've actually used before when it comes to one of their services. One thing they like to do is they like to travel to various conventions. And I live in the Pacific Northwest up here where PAX West is, and they have these AFK rooms. They're professionally staffed. They have all kinds of, it's quiet, it's relaxing. They had coloring books when I was there the last time. And it's a great place to just relax and collect yourself, especially when you're around a lot of people and you get anxiety or you have mental health issues. And we're trying to We're trying to help staff one of these rooms. I heard it costs $10,000 to travel to one of these events and staff one of these rooms completely. And that's what our goal is. We are trying to raise that $10,000, and we're already doing very well.
Just want to say really quickly that Kat just found the silver arrows in level 3. So that is a huge find.
Unfortunately, Kat is blocked from continuing in level 3 because she's out of keys.
But that is an easily solved problem. So, does Kat know about...
Possibly. Kat also definitely has enough heart containers.
Yes.
Wait, what's Kat doing? How? But one side of screen to other, what? Meg, explain what's going on there. I'm scared.
Alright, so what Kat was doing is called screen scrolling, and it's similar to the block clip, and it's essentially tricking the game's sense of where you are in the grid. So this game, being a fairly early game of its style, with the kind of like movement that it has, they kind of went with a hybrid approach in terms of your movement. You notice that Link can move, Link or Zelda, there are several Zeldas in this race, can move not just along a grid, which was pretty common in games before this, but also on like half tiles and also on increments along a line. So the math that the game does in order to like snap you to that grid when you change direction has a couple of weird little exploits to it. One of them is the block clip, and the other is the screen scroll, which turns you around in such a way that it confuses the game about whether you're beyond the edge of the screen or not, and that makes it so that you end up on the other end of the screen when you wrap, because that's just kind of the way the math works with the graphics processor on the NES, and the game is relying on that.
Vonnie just picked up the last item in level 1, and I didn't quite catch what it was.
Sadly, one of the unfortunate things, so one of the quality of life enhancements that the randomizer has is it lets you just press select to switch items, which means that we don't see the start screen so often as people watching the game. So it's a little hard to tell sometimes when people get things when you're watching 4 entire games. So we're gonna have to keep an eye out and see what it might have been.
Yeah. Luckily, Demi's in there right now, and hopefully she'll hunt it down soon enough, as well as Sparko. Chat says it was the
recorder.
Rudy Tooty, Fresh and Fluty.
So the recorder is a very important item. It opens up one check on the overworld, and it also allows you to navigate the overworld with the game's fast travel.
Yeah, so how the recorder works is it allows you to warp between the different dungeons. If you are facing one direction versus another direction, when you blow the whistle, it'll either take you to a dungeon entrance one higher or one lower than the one you last visited to. And if you blow it while you're on the overworld and you hit it multiple times before you run into the whirlwind, you'll be able to quickly warp between any combination of dungeons you want.
Yes. Well, as long as you've gotten the Triforce from it, at least.
Yes. Vonnie ducking out of the room that we know contains the silver arrows.
Also, yes, Cat did wind up going and getting the any key, and now everybody has the any key at this point.
Yeah. Oh, and the other most important part about the whistle is that in a relatively recent randomizer patch, it now plays a random bit of music. So you'll want to name that tune when whoever audio we're using gets around to playing it.
Oh, and Cat just got the triangle out of level 1.
Bonnie going back and picking up the silver arrows.
I don't believe... I think Cat has more triangles than anyone at this point, possibly. Unless people haven't been updating their trackers, I'm not actually sure. But I think Cat has more than one triangle. I think Cat has 1 in 5 at least.
That sounds right.
Whereas right now, Sparkover has 8 triangle, Demi has 5s, and Vanny has 1s on their trackers, respectively.
Yeah. Demi essentially has a 1's triangle at all as well because she's got the compass and the triangle is like right there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Cat does not have a tracker up, so...
We're just guessing.
Yes.
Several of our runners have a piece of paper, which you find in a random cave on the overworld. This piece of paper is basically your authorization to use the various potion shops that exist in various caves. Potions are super useful. You have 2 different types. You have the blue potion and the red potion. And the red potion is 1 dose, the blue potion is 2. And we like to joke whether or not it's a Coke or a Pepsi seed, depending on which one is more cost efficient to get.
Yes. Oh, and Vanny just got the triangle in level 3, so that makes Vanny part of the 2 triangle club.
Demi joining shortly as long as the bubbles don't troll too badly.
Also, yes, I think Vanny does have the red ring, possibly. I think we might have missed it.
I think it might just be the blue ring. One of the options in the randomizer is randomizing your tunic color.
I thought I saw Vanny with a blue tunic before, though.
Oh. Well, he doesn't have the red ring on his tracker, so... Skull Kitty in question has a... Skull Kitty in chat has a question for Dr. Leggy. Is the paper a permission slip?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with yes.
Yeah. The paper is basically this game's Bagu.
You know Bagu? Then you can come on down and buy our sweet, sweet potions.
More like one you had to get from a teacher to go to the bathroom, I think, Scala.
Or maybe it's like a doctor's prescription. Because it is technically medicine.
Let's be real, it's Coke or Pepsi. Like...
Teacher, can I go to the vending machine?
Yeah, it's permission to go to the vending machine, that's what it is. Oh, Cat is fighting a relatively difficult enemy right now, especially with a wood sword.
Gleok there can only be hit on the head. And when you kill one of the heads start flying around. Unfortunately, that we now know that that was not going to be useful, but that was a really good fight regardless.
It was, yeah.
Now, Gliok can have anywhere between 2 and 4 heads. And difficulty scales directly based off the number of heads.
Demi did get the triangle in level 1, it appears.
Yes.
I missed that, but it does appear that she did.
She was in the room. The rabbits weren't giving her too much trouble. I basically wrote it off as a done deal. So
And she now knows where the Triforce in level 3 is, so this is some good progress.
yeah, though I notice we haven't found a lot of the dungeons.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen 1, 3, 5, and 8. I can't recall seeing any others. Oh, Vanny has the triangle from level 8 now.
But my leading comment was going to be that a lot of our runners haven't done a lot of exploration of Death Mountain yet. Which probably holds most of the other dungeons. We've seen the entrance to 9 as well, but you can't go into 9 in this flag set until you've got all of the other 8 Tringles.
Oh, and Demi is about to pick up the silver arrows. Also, we just got a glimpse at Demi's start screen. And she does, in fact, have the blue ring.
Yeah, I
Which is
think...
good in this dungeon, for sure.
Yes. I think all of our runners right now are running on blue ring.
I think so, yes.
Unless there was a red ring in level 8 that I just don't have written down. So, while our runners are kind of retracing a lot of old territory, do we have any donations?
Sure, I got one here. Came in a few minutes ago. Someone responded to the file name for Star Tropics, as we got a $5 donation from Dashy Swag that says magical rainbows and things. I guess because it's Rainbow Dash, maybe. Named Boop as the BOOP as the file name. So that is the lead right now with a $5 donation. Plenty of time to snipe that for the next run after this, which is Star Tropics by Von Ivan.
Or, donate to continue to make that the file name, because that is an excellent file name. Holy heck.
So we saw the on, I believe, Sparko's screen. We saw where the either Sparko or Cat's screen. We saw where the magic sword is.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been Cat's, actually.
Yeah. What's the deal with the magic sword?
So the magic sword is the most powerful sword in the game. It requires a significant amount of heart containers in order to pick up. Believe it or not, it is not the same as the Master Sword, which in this game is somewhere sleeping in the Lost Woods still from Link to the Past, and is not a thing in this game at all. But the Magic Sword has the most attack power of anything in this game. And is, alongside the Silver Arrow, it's basically the same as the Silver Arrow in terms of its attack power.
Yeah. So, importantly, the magic sword allows you to take out Ganon in 4 sword swings.
Oh, and Sparko just got the triangle in 3.
Yep. Demi is exactly 1 room away. Avani's finding the staircase heart in level 5. And it looks like Cat is giving us a look into level 7.
Also, yeah, from the glimpse at the start screen, we can see the cat does have the blue ring as well.
All right. Looks like it is a Pepsi seed. With the blue potion being 31 rupees, the red potion being 70 rupees. Buying 2 blue potions is going to be cheaper, though those 8 rupees might not be worth the time difference.
Yeah, in order to buy 2 blue potions, you have to leave and re-enter the shop. Although you could amortize that out to like a couple of visits to shops or something like that. It's not like you're going to use all of your potions all at once.
Says you.
I try to conserve my potions as much as possible because they're extremely valuable. A lot of people play this when they start off. They don't tend to value the potions as highly as they should because they are literally an entire bar worth of heart containers. So like
Yeah.
there's the pick any's where you get to choose between a heart container and a potion. And my personal opinion is that once you have enough heart containers to get the white sword item, it's a really good idea to just grab a free potion because it's better to have an entire 2 full heart bars available to you when you need it than to have 1 extra heart container. The value is just much higher in the potion to me.
Yeah. Of course, that's assuming, and that's doubly true if you're in a situation where you are running around and you haven't found the paper yet, so you don't necessarily have access to shops that are selling the potions.
Oh, we just there was just a recorder blast on Vanny's stream. I did not recognize the song though.
Yeah, I'm because of my setup, I'm playing with game audio off, so I'm gonna rely on chat for that one.
Also, Sparko picked up another triangle, I believe. Although he's now an 8. Yeah, I'm a little confused by that, but I'm pretty sure I picked up a triangle, maybe then came to 8. But she already had the triangle in 8 before. It's definitely keep in mind as an audience, it's definitely a thing to keep track of what's going on 4 different game screens in this game because stuff can happen very quickly, so it can be a little bit confusing at times.
Yeah.
So definitely shout out to Sil doing tracking of all 4 for your benefit on the restream. That is a difficult job. Oh, and Red Candle was an 8 on the floor.
Yep.
So we have found Tony.
Who? Tony being Meg's affectionate nickname for the Red Candle for reasons that are beyond me to this day.
There is a story. It's a long story, but and it comes from when I used to run a beginner's race every Sunday of this randomizer, And it was just a meme that we had in that race. But it was it's two of our racers file names as well.
Yeah. So it looks like Vonnie is giving us our first look into level 4. Gotta say, I'm a fan of that color palette. I really like it.
That is actually a really good color palette, yeah. It's bordering on what we call a like it's just a little bit off from what we call a one. If the background were darker, I'd probably call it a Virtual Boy scheme, which it seems to happen fairly frequently in Randomizer. Usually,
Yeah.
like.
So you want to know a fun fact?
I love fun facts.
In the top right corner of level 8 is the white sword.
Oh, nice.
I know this because Sparko now is swinging it around.
I see that, yes.
And with that, level 8 has Lord Banana, the regular boomerang, the white sword, and the red candle as its 3 items.
Oh, and Demarine has gotten the triangle in level 8 now, so Demarine has 4 triangles, as does Vanny. So they're tied on triangles. I'm still uncertain about how many Cat has, actually, so I'm not sure where Cat sits in the order here.
Yeah. Level 1 is an any road. That amuses me. Oof.
Sparko visiting an item room that she already went into quite a while ago.
Yeah, Sparko definitely seems to be getting a little lost in 8.
Which is pretty normal. Not at all unusual to get lost in 8, which tends to be a fairly large dungeon.
So there's a question in chat. May I ask why Vonnie and Demarine have their levels titles as levels, but Sparko and GliitchWiitch have their levels marked as boards? It's a randomizer flag to randomize the word for each one of the dungeons.
Yep. You can also specify. You can choose one, or you can have it pick them at random for the seed. And that's a flag that does not affect any other any gameplay thing. So it's a personal preference thing. You can choose it in the randomizer without affecting the flag set or the flag set of the seed.
Yeah.
So you get the same seed. There are a few things like that.
Yeah, one of the nice things about this randomizer is it does have that really, really nice set of just personal customization flags that you can set and have static regardless of any of the actual flags that you're playing around with.
Yes. I think I'm not sure what Sparko is still looking for in 8.
Does Sparko have the candle?
That's a good question.
Has Sparko found Tony? Because honestly, that's the only thing I could think of, because I think Sparko found the boomerang.
She does have it marked on her tracker, I believe.
Oh yeah, that is the candle on the tracker. Then I guess she's looking for the boomerang? Which might explain why she went down the staircase if she got confused.
I am inclined to agree that she may have mismarked something and is searching in vain at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very unfortunate if so. Although I know that if you ever is having the boomerang, I know she has boomerang. She has the blue boomerang. Which that's the one that was in 8, right? No, that was in level 1.
Yeah, Bloomerang was in 1.
So we can't tell at this point if she had normal, but I'm pretty sure she did have normal. So I think that she is, in fact... Yeah, I remember her picking up the normal boomerang, so I'm pretty sure that she mismarked and just didn't know that she... So she's been digging in there for something she can't find now, I believe. Which probably doesn't look like it to her because so much of the map was unrevealed still.
You know, it looks like she marked something in level 9 instead of level 8. While I'm squinting at her tracker.
Oh. Yes, I think you're right. She marked. Yeah, she marked the yellow boomerang in level 9.
Which, as we've stated before, you can't actually get into level 9 until you have all of the Triforces.
Oh, Demi was just in the room with the triangle in level 4, out of it into this room full of nuts.
Well, in this game, information is powerful. Knowing where a triangle is and knowing how to get to it is almost as good as picking it up. And especially if you're deep in a dungeon, it often makes sense to continue pushing forward on exploration, because picking up a triangle will warp you back to the beginning of the dungeon. And on the other hand, it'll also give you a life refill. So balancing those two against each other are super important considerations for, do I pick up this triangle now, or do I come back for it later when I'm ready to leave?
Yeah, also I think while we were baffled by what Sparko was doing, Vanny went and got the triangle out of level. So I think unless Kat has a lot more triangles than I think that puts Vanny in the lead probably right now.
Yeah. Also, Demarine found one of our items in level 4, the heart on the floor. We'll see if there's more. Do you want me to keep going, or?
Sorry, I missed what you said there.
That's okay. That doesn't make me feel sore.
No.
Demarine has found the other item in level 4, the power bracelet, the PB, or the croissant. I get the feeling that a lot of these items were named when players were exceptionally hungry at this rate.
Well, there are pancakes in this game, so... There is an entire room in the vanilla game that is called the Magical Breakfast Room, after the fact that it is full of pancakes and what look like Fruit Loops. So it's not really surprising.
I'm assuming here the Fruit Loops are the laser beams that the Wizards shoot.
Something like that.
Because that's the magical part of the Magical Breakfast.
But yeah, the likes in this game have often been like to pancakes. That they're frequently called pancakes. If you look at the official Nintendo art for this game, you may think that some of these enemies are kind of cute, like the Pole's voice that Vanny is fighting at this moment. They look like bunny rabbits, but if you go look at the official art for this game from the manual, they are horrifying looking. And likewise for the pancakes, they do not look like pancakes in the official art, not by a long shot.
Nope. Yeah, shout outs to the two new Valks emotes. They're both really, really exceptionally good. And I want to thank everyone who either gifted subs or just, subbed of their own accord for unlocking those emotes for me in particular.
Okay, I just heard the song again on Vanny's screen, and I definitely recognize it, and I cannot put the name to it. So if someone in chat heard it and knows what it is, please say so, because it's gonna bug me now.
Well, the good news is that at the end of the seed, the game will tell you.
That is true.
The bad news is, as I've stated previously, I cannot help you because I am playing without game audio. Or, well, commentating.
You could turn on Vanny's audio.
I could, but that involves far more steps than I want to deal with at this point.
And Kat just picked up the triangle in level 4. It'd be really nice if Kat would press start on the overworld so that we could see how many triangles she has, but we are going to be left in the dark on that, it looks like.
Vani finding a staircase in level 7 that, for better or worse, is a transport staircase taking him to a far-flung corner of that map rather than an item.
So which levels have we not seen yet? I believe I had 6.
So I've been taking notes as we've been finding things in the dungeons, and I know we have not seen 6, and we have not seen 2.
Yeah.
And I think those are the only 2 we're still missing. As I say this, I look up at Sparko's screen.
And Sparko's in level 6, yes.
Yeah. There's 4 screens. It's hard to keep track of them all.
It is.
At least the Wizrobes are still in level 6.
Yes, everybody always loves finding a bunch of Wizrobes. That's always, like, very comforting. I believe no one's found the bow yet also, right?
I do not have the bow written down in my notes. Nor do I see it on anyone's trackers.
Yeah.
I also don't have any notes on the ladder.
Yeah, so we are still looking for a couple of very essential items. And I'm trying to think, I think every other blockable item has been found now, other than the bow and the ladder, right?
Correct.
So
Kat just picked up the power bracelet, which does unlock 4 more checks for locations.
Which I don't think we've seen anyone do yet. We've seen someone else has had the power bracelet already, but I don't think anyone's actually looked at the spots.
I believe the other person with the power bracelet is Demarine.
Right.
And so one of the dungeons could be at one of those 4 locations.
I think there are still some open spots that haven't been investigated yet as well.
Though Demi is doing a pretty good job of clearing that top back corner of Death Mountain. But I also don't have. We also haven't seen. We've seen exactly one item from level 6. It is the red ring. The red ring is like the blue ring, only twice as good.
That is a really nice pickup for Sparko.
And just a few rooms over is a old man selling bombs. The bomb upgrade will refill your bombs, but more importantly, that refill will go up to 1 to 5 extra bombs above whatever your current carrying capacity is.
Yes, although Sparko was 8 short of us finding it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vanny just played the recorder again, and I'm trying to figure out what that song is. Go ahead.
And chat is not helping you answer that question.
Chat is really not helping. Come on, chat. Please help me.
Chat, I'll donate $10 if one of you solves this problem for Meg. Yeah, I am not above bribing chat.
No, chat is no help.
I'll give him a little bit of time. Still doesn't know.
We have the level 6 Triforce on Cat's screen here now. It is very possible that Cat is in the lead right now. And we just don't know.
Yeah. It's also very possible that Cat is... Oh, level 6 was a power bracelet spot. My bad. So
Yes.
chat throws out the guess that the song is the Me Channel theme.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Cool. I owe $10. I will donate that once the run is over. Yes,
Stella, it is.
Jinx.
You owe me a red potion.
I'm out of rupees.
I'll take
Go
a
fight some Lionels for me.
No, I don't fight Lionels.
No, you should definitely fight Lionels.
That is another meme from our old races, where there was an endless debate about whether or not you should fight Lionels or not. Again, like I was saying way earlier about Wizrobes, the enemies in this game are way more difficult in some ways than in later Zelda games, when they were equivalent enemies. The game that really brought that back was actually Wild, which was apparently very largely modeled off of this game in terms of like their ideas about doing an open world game, which is a really cool thing, in my opinion, as someone who really enjoys this game. But they also brought back both the wicked awfulness of Wizrobes and the terrifyingness of Lionels, which makes me very happy.
Yeah. For those of you who have played Breath of the Wild, basically, you understand.
And we have found out on Vanny's screen that Die Hard is the best variant.
I mean, that's true. I'm not sure Scala agrees, but I definitely agree.
Oh my god. Not Lionel. Lionel. I really hope someone finds a ladder soon. That is a thing that I'm very much. Oh.
I hope
Okay.
someone finds a bow.
A bow would also be really nice, but there's a decent chance that the bow is somehow behind a ladder, right? So.
Yeah.
But at the very least, we know we will not have to dive level 9 for an item, because no important items with this flag set can be in level 9, except for the silver arrows, which we already have. So we know that level 9 is going to be just finding the captured and Ganon and winning the game.
Yeah. And so that definitely was a huge sigh of relief for every single one of our runners when they saw those silver arrows. Because there is nothing worse than the feeling of, oh, I have like 2 dungeon checks left. I haven't found the silver arrows, but there are also 2 dungeon checks in level 9. I'll just go dive level 9 and hope they're there. Only to get punished by the silver arrows being somewhere completely else.
Yeah. Level 9 in particular is a very bad place to be looking at item because it's so large. It is, in fact, in the game data, the levels are divided up into 3 sections effectively. The first one for levels 1 through 6, the second one for levels 7 and 8, and then the third one is entirely dedicated to level 9, and that area is as big as the area for levels 1 through 6 combined.
Yeah. For those of you who are keeping score at home, these are 8x8 grids of rooms that these dungeons have space to fit into. Which is why, if you look at the maps for level 7 and level 8, I think we had 2 runners with both of them on this screen at the same time. You'll notice that they kind of fit together like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle.
Yep, and that's because they do. They literally fit in memory to each other, which is actually really appropriate given that they're apparently like underground next to each other under the overworld. Oh, and I just saw Demarine pick up the red ring. So that's going to be really good for her.
Yay! So I wish someone would find a staircase in level 6. Sparko is on level 6 Triforce room. Vani is working on clearing out level 4. Now, as all of our other runners... Ooh,
oh, and we find out what the bomb upgrade is.
It is
a full bomb upgrade.
+5. That is really, really nice. At this point, because of the any key, the most painful resource to keep on top of is bombs, because only a select set of enemies drop them.
And Sparkover also picking up the bomb upgrade in level 6.
Yeah, actually, it looks like all 3 of our runners in level 6 have 13 bombs right now.
Yep. And Vanny just picked up the croissant.
Mm-hmm. Which will give him access to level 6 pretty soon.
And yes, Team Murdoch, that is correct. Ladder can never be in level 9 unless a flag is to allow important items in 9, which is not the case in this flag set.
Yeah.
And silvers, yeah. So because ladder cannot be in level 9, that means that silvers can't be ladder blocked by something in 9. The logic, in order for something like that to happen, important items in 9 flag would have to be set. And even then, I don't know if the randomizer would actually do that. I'm not actually sure about that. For obvious reasons, it's pretty rare for people to play with the important items in 9 flag. It can create a very unpleasant seed.
Yeah, involving, okay, first you have to go get all the Triforces, then you have to go into 9, then you have to do these other things to get into go mode.
Yep.
Of course, there's always people who love challenges, and, I'm glad the option exists, because I think it's interesting experiences for people who aren't me.
Yes, you'll sometimes see that flag set in like the final stage. That's kind of the main place you'll see it. There are some very, very masochistic flags in Zelda 1 Randomizer. Among them, dark dungeons, which just makes every room in the dungeons dark. Vanny just got the triangle in level 6 also.
Nice.
So we're still looking for levels 2, or no, we found
still need
level 2, right?
2.
No, Sparko is in level 2.
Oh. Sparko making a liar out of me multiple times this seed.
Yes. Did anyone catch where Sparko went into level 2? Because I did not catch her going in there. Oh, and the book is in level 2 on the floor.
Oof.
That is... so you will find that very few Zelda 2 Randomizer players will pick up the book, and that is because the book is an item, the only item in the game that makes things worse.
I don't know, the magical boomerang.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that that makes it. So I mean, the reason that the book makes things worse for you is because it makes it so that when you have the wand and you shoot with the wand, it makes fire appear wherever the wand beam intersects a solid object or an enemy. And that makes it so that, and unlike every other Zelda game, in this Zelda, Link cannot be hurt by his own bombs, but can be hurt by fire coming from their own weapon. So from the candle or from the wand with the book. And when you're in heavy combat situations and you're using the wand because your sword has been disabled by a bubble or something like that, it means that you're really likely to get hit by your own fire. And it will knock back enemies behind it and make it harder to hit them and all of that kind of stuff. It's extremely frustrating to fight with the wand with book. So most just skip it.
There are some flags in the randomizer that will change the properties of the book, allowing it to, well, my personal favorite is the flag that replaces book fire with explosion, turning the combination of the wand and the book into unlimited bombs. This, of course, trivializes a fair part of the resource management of the game, but it is so satisfying.
It also makes it so that the book is only obtainable through a shop for a very large price, comparable to the Blue Ring price.
Yeah. A little bit less on average than the Blue Ring, but still right up there.
So Vanny is also in level 2, and we have Demi in level 7, so we have now found every level.
Yes.
And while Sparko has found a lot of levels, she is kind of behind on the triangles even so. And
Demi and Vonnie are neck and neck.
yes, and I think given that they each know where one of the dungeons that I don't believe Kat knows where it is, I would put them in the lead over Kat, even if Kat has a similar number of triangles to them.
Yeah. Going back to the book real fast, there is a slightly more common flag set that isn't super busted, which turns the book into an atlas, basically meaning that when you have the book, you basically get all of the dungeon maps for free.
And Vanny just got the triangle out of level 2.
Sparko just walked by the triangle in level 2, trying to find that last item first.
But that unquestionably puts Vanny in the lead at this point, with all but one triangle, the only one missing being the one on level 7. And Vanny looking like he's thinking about the book, but
Yeah.
not picking it up.
Yeah, so right now, all we need to do is find the bow. And according to my notes, there are 5 places it could be. It could either be the second item in level 2, which seems unlikely, given that level 2 is small and both of our runners left there. I have the book from level 2. Chat, if you know what the other item in 2 is, let me know. It could be the floor item in level 5, unless someone's found that already, in which case, again, let me know. The staircase item in level 6, or either of the 2 items in level 7.
Oh, Vanny just tried to get the magic sword and failed, so I believe that means magic sword is max hearts it can require.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more than 12. I forget whether or not it can go to 14. I know it can go to 13.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it could be 2 more.
Yeah, it's 10 to 14, right?
Yeah. I have trouble counting the heart containers on the top bar because I feel like it ought to be an even 10 or something like that on it, or
Yeah,
it's not.
it's a power of 2 though, at least. It's 8.
Oh, and yeah, Demi just got the triangle in level 7, so they are now neck and neck, with neither of them, I believe, knowing where the other's last triangle is. So
No, Vonnie knows where the level is. I don't think he knows any further information than that. Though he does get a nice quick kill on that Dodongo.
and we have Demi still searching level 7 for key items, obviously. This is basically like, at this point, this is all about who can find the bow first.
Yeah.
That's the real key. Whoever finds the bow first is going to have a huge advantage.
Right, and of course, at the end of the day, even if you find the bow first, a lot of things in randomizers are called the Great Equalizer, because of the effect they have on leveling the playing field across multiple runners. I think there is nothing in randomizers more deserving of the title than Zelda 1's level 9 in shapes.
Yes. Although my argument has always been that actually easier than the vanilla level 9, which is purpose designed in an intelligent way to be as trolly as absolutely possible. Whereas the randomized level 9 often has somewhat more forgiving traits just from having been generated by a computer. It tends to be more open. There are a few features of level 9 in vanilla that are not without adding a bunch of flags that no one ever uses.
Wait. Demi just shot Aquamentus with a bow.
Oh, Demi has the bow then. All right.
Where was that?
Must have been here in 7, I think.
Okay, it was the floor item in 7.
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah,
Demi has it on her tracker, although she only has 1 item per level on the tracker.
Yeah. Still, though, good enough for government work. So I'm willing to state unequivocally that Demi is currently in the lead.
Yes, although if Demi has any trouble finding level 2 at all, then that could change.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the ladder.
Well, there we go.
is in absolute, unquestionable go mode, just needs to find the level 2 triangle and go straight to 9. So yes, Demi is definitely in the lead at this point.
Yeah, level 7 has the goods.
It
Well,
does not appear that Demi knows where level 2 is, given...
that she went for that pitiful small secret.
Yes. So that is definitely a little bit of a wrench in the gears for Demi's dominance of this seed at this point.
Yeah. But, provided her being on point with her tracking of the overworld, I have no doubt that she'll narrow things down in no time. And unfortunately, level 2 is one of the smaller dungeons, so the time she's going to save from not spending a lot of time clearing it out is going to be mitigated by the fact that it doesn't take very long to clear out in general.
Yeah.
But if our other runners spend time poking around level 5 or level 6 for the items there, Demi might be able to make up that little bit of lost ground. Though she does seem to have narrowed it down to the push blocks, so hopefully she doesn't spend too long up here on Death Mountain.
I don't know, I think she's cleaning up Death Mountain a little bit. Not so much aiming for push blocks, but there was just a push block on the way.
Yeah, that's fair. But she'd come through here earlier, if I recall. And you'll notice, just look at the work those silver arrows made of those Lionels. Just mowing them down.
Yep.
So I'm going to name a level 7 because we have the ink blot.
All right, what is it?
It's a Star Destroyer from Star Wars.
I can sort of see that.
I can see a whale jumping into the air. Majestically
I'm
stretching.
more with the whale, I think.
Well, no one has donated for you to name it specifically something, so you can name it whatever you would like.
And heck, we can even name it different things.
What if I name it Leggy?
I mean, you're allowed. No one has donated yet, so they can't stop you.
There we go. Level 7 is named Leggy now.
I'm naming level 9 Meg preemptively.
Wow! I feel insulted.
No, you're just really fun, and everyone's trying to get to you as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So Cat left level 7 without picking up either of the items in it.
Ooh,
that's
that's
unfortunate.
And Demi finds level 2.
That is going to... Yeah, this is not going to last much longer. Oh, Demi almost walks right into the book just then. Oh, I see. Yeah. So Cat was trying to get the to get mags.
Which, at 12 hearts, that is a pretty decent check.
Yes, definitely. Like, if you only have a couple dungeons left and they're fairly challenging, it's definitely worth it to try and get yourself a better sword. The only player who managed to pick up the white sword, I'm noting, is Sparkover, who is only missing 2 triangles now, the one from 6 and the one from 7.
Yeah, and
Demi just picked up the triangle in level 2, so Demi is in full go mode now.
Yeah, the white sword was in the back corner of level 8, hidden behind, the shed 2 towns over. So that makes sense that only one of our runners really went out of their way to check there. Pros and cons of doing that. On the one hand, Sparko does have that bit of a combat advantage, which can totally help out. On the other hand, the time spent digging out that white sword is time our other runners spent digging elsewhere. Granted, it could have been the bow for all we know at the time. So Zelda 1 strategy, especially here in the randomizer, is all about weighing the time it's going to take to go in and dive your dungeon now versus the time it's going to take to come back later if the things you need aren't elsewhere.
Yes, that is absolutely true. I think the thing that really hurts Sparko in this seed is definitely the mismark on level 8, mismarking where the boomerang was, and diving 8 even longer than necessary. And Cat just picked up the bow, very hard to see on the background.
Which is why I completely missed it the first time.
Yeah, I think so. Now that I've seen it, I can totally see why we missed Demi picking it up.
Demi in a room full of blue wizrobes.
Yes, this is an extremely unpleasant room in level 9, and the red ring is extremely helpful for this particular room.
Indeed.
Cat is about to pick up the triangle in level 7.
So, Meg, now that we have a runner in level 9, what are they looking for?
So, they are looking for Ganon, first of all. And Ganon can be heard from any of the rooms adjacent to his, any of the 4 rooms adjacent. So, you're looking... if we don't have the audio on, Demi probably should, because we want to be able to hear if Demi comes to a room that has boss sound in it. In the randomizer, the only time sound is when you're in a boss room or in a room adjacent to the boss, to Ganon in level 9. In the vanilla game, any boss causes the rooms around it to trigger the sound effect. But in randomizer, it is particularly specifically for finding Ganon. And then once Ganon is found, we want to find the captured, who we can find either through finding the compass, or through finding a door that doesn't open even though all of the enemies have been killed. Either of those things are a sign that the captured, who is either Zelda or Link in these particular players' setups, will be behind that door.
Yeah, in particular, if you come to a locked door that doesn't open after you kill all the enemies in it, and you know that's where the captured is. Additionally, once you've killed Ganon, the captured's door will open automatically. So, if you find Ganon first, you're just looking for a shutter door that opens immediately before you even deal with any enemies.
Yep, exactly. And Cat just picking up the triangle in level 3.
Yeah, this level 9 is proving to be kind of nasty combat-wise. So we'll see how much of an impact that White Sword's going to have. Because if you have to go through a number of these nasty rooms, clearing out wizrobes and the like, that White Sword is definitely going to make a big difference.
Yeah, if everything else were equal, Sparko and Cat in level 9 would have advantages. And Cat is in level 9 now, so that must have been the last triangle pickup for Cat. Yeah, Sparkover has the White Sword, which is a combat boon. Oh, and Sparkover getting the last triangle, so Sparkover is leapfrogging into go mode apparently, because she seems to have gotten the bow and ladder from level 7 already. Yeah, Sparkover is going into level 9. So Sparkover was effectively in last place not that long ago, but has kind of leapfrogged into probably about 3rd. And Sparkover and Cat have an advantage because Sparkover has the White Sword, which does double damage on these wizrobes, which is very helpful. And Cat has both bomb upgrades, so has a lot of bombs, potentially.
And of course, Demi just has the advantage of a head start. Which
Demi has heard the Ganon roar at this point.
And there he
Ganon.
is. So it's going to take 16 hits from the wooden sword to take out Ganon.
Oh, and Cat also in Ganon's room at the same time. That was a jump into 2nd place there.
Yeah, there must be a really easy path that Demi missed on her first go-around.
Yep. So everybody fighting Ganon here is going to be aiming to get what's called a stun lock on Ganon, which is where if you time hitting Ganon after it disappears. Oh, there we go, and Demi is doing it. Right after it disappears and right when it respawns in the corner, you can stun Ganon again really quickly.
Yeah. Cat has taken down our evil pig overlord and is now just looking for the captured, trying to find a shutter room that opens automatically when she enters the room, or the compass, which will help point her in the right direction.
Yep. And Demi is not far behind her. So this has suddenly turned into an extremely tight race between 3 of the players. Sparkover can find Ganon really soon. She still has a chance to actually to pull totally ahead.
Yeah. And if Sparko happens to find the captured before either of the other two do, Ganon is really easy to get to, as we saw from GliitchWiitch. So there is a chance that Sparko might just get a sudden information advantage and be able to use that to leapfrog above the other two. Of course, if the kidnapped is a bit trolly to get to, who really knows?
Unfortunately, Vanny appears to have not found 7 yet, or gave up on trying to find the item. Yeah, okay, gave up trying to find the item in 7, and is now looking in, unfortunately, the wrong place for the items. which is really
he's
unfortunate.
about to pick up his white sword, which isn't the worst, but definitely not what he's looking for right now.
And not what he needs to catch up right now. And Sparkover is in Ganon's.
Yeah, Sparko with the white sword only needs 8 hits on Ganon to take him out, so this fight should be over in about half the time that it took the other 2.
Sparko having a bit of trouble getting a stun lock on Ganon. And there we go. Ganon is down on Sparkover's screen, and Vanny is picking up the white sword right now as well. So Vanny is discovering that this may not have been the right play, unfortunately.
Yeah. And now it's just a mad dash through level 8 to try and find the captured. Luckily, we, as viewers, can use Sparko's map to... Oh, and Demi also has the map, which will definitely help narrow down the search space, because you can eliminate rooms that you haven't been to, and you can eliminate the blank areas on the map, because unlike in vanilla, the randomizer is a little bit kind and doesn't have any of those secret unmarked locations on the map.
Do we know if Cat picked up the ladder, by the way?
I don't know. I'll have to keep my eyes open.
I don't think we've seen a ladder block yet in 9, so this may be one of those rare seeds that I meant. Ladder is actually not required.
Okay, but I'm gonna call it out now as a hypothetical commentator's curse. Imagine if the kidnapped is bait blocked.
And that totally can happen. I seem to recall having it happen to me, in fact, and that is an extremely unpleasant thing to happen.
Mm-hmm. Vonnie finds Lord Banana in level 8, realizes that he's been looking for items in all the wrong places, and hopefully is headed straight to level 7 right now. And hopefully is headed straight to level 7. Not 5, 7.
This is actually, unfortunately, like not a very helpful for level 9 because it is just kind of a blob. This is not nearly as Swiss cheesy as a level 9 map can be. It doesn't really give you a lot of hints about like you can access different parts of the level from, unfortunately.
Yeah. But again, it does give you that ability to avoid, say, trying to bomb into a space that just does not have a room next to it.
Yeah. I think we can confirm that Cat does not have the ladder, because I think that we would have seen at least an accidental push against the river in this room that Cat was just in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Cat would have definitely gone north if she had the ladder.
Yes. Ooh, that will be unfortunate if the kidnapped is ladder blocked.
Yes, it would be extremely unfortunate. Oh, was that?
No, that room doesn't have any enemies in it.
Doesn't matter necessarily. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, so those were shutter doors that were just opening because the randomizer put shutter doors there, but
the Zelda door will also clang open if there's no enemies.
Yes.
So it could have still been it.
It still could have been it, but it wasn't the like obvious indication that it was it. And Demi just trying to face tank a bunch of blue whiz robes. Probably nerves getting to her, because that's not a fun fight.
No. The bombs would have helped with that fight, or a better sword. So right now, oddly enough, I feel like Sparko has a little bit of an advantage. Just because Sparko has some bombs, and has beaten Ganon, and has the ladder, and has the white sword. So if a room like that one that Demi was just fighting was necessary, Sparko is equipped to actually fight it. Also, Sparko is in that top left corner that I think Demi is having trouble getting into.
Okay, I think that room that Sparko was just in was the bait, and, well...
There we go.
GG Sparko.
Sparko wins, coming back from a fair bit behind up until very late in this race. That was a very, very good upset, actually.
Well, that was almost a bait block. I feel proud.
All right, so now we are looking for... I did not see a ladder block in there.
No.
So I think that Cat is probably fine. And the
Demi
capture
is
was in the
also...
top left corner.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of Demi and Cat sprinting to that corner of the map.
Upset, actually.
Well, that was almost a bait block.
And Demi has stopped moving.
Demi, looking at the chat, well, at Twitch chat, says, "I am so tired of fighting blue whizzies with a wood knife." And Demi, I don't blame you at all.
Yeah, that's entirely fair.
But yeah, GG to both of our runners who can now have the ability to hear us.
I'm just seeing if Sparko wants to come in and talk to us about that wonderful seed. I think we have a Sparkover.
Hello.
You sound very impressed.
Oh, totally. That was remarkable. It's so much fun. We were saying only really nice things about this seed in the runners chat room.
Sure.
Only nice things.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So you actually came from behind. I don't know if you knew that from like the runners chat, but you were a fair bit behind, and then you just kind of like pulled ahead like nothing else right at the end of there.
Yeah, the big difference was the white sword.
Ooh, I do like the white sword. It's
no one but you had it until Annie just got it fairly recently after rediving 8, which looking for the items that are in 7, as we now know.
All right. Yeah. Oh gosh, that's 7. But I think, where's my tracker?
So you spent a lot of time in 8 as well.
Yeah, I don't think I ever found the last item in 8.
You did. You mismarked it.
Oh, okay.
You marked it in 9.
Oh!
Yeah, look at your tracker.
Good job, Sparko. I figured something was wrong there.
We were very confused for a little while because we were like, why is Sparko still diving level 8? But yeah, it turned out that you'd mismarked the boomerang as being in 9, even though you hadn't been in 9 yet, obviously.
Yeah. Which I am too tired to notice right now, but that's okay.
That is fair.
That is entirely fair.
Yeah, it was... So I guess aside from that, I was missing items 5 and 6 and 7, and I figured I would go for 7 just because I didn't have anything there.
Yeah, and let's face it, level 7 had the goods.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate when it does.
If there's anything that running tournaments of this game has taught me, level 7 always has the business end of the business.
Hi, Demi.
Hi, everybody.
Also, here is a cat. How are both of you doing?
You know what? Go ahead. You start, Demery. You have more to say than I do.
So, I'm curious how you all felt you were doing relative to each other.
Yeah, that would be really interesting to know, actually.
I thought I was ahead of... When I got into 9, I felt I was ahead of everybody.
When I got into 9, I thought I was ahead of everybody because I definitely found the bow first.
That is Demi.
That
you
is
are
correct.
100% correct.
And
you
then
were the first to get the bow. You were also the first by a large margin into 9.
And then Kat came in. Kat found it a little while later, and immediately found Ganon. And then Sparko came into 9.
Yep.
Oh, okay, so I was still at least the second person in 9. Did I get... Did?
Wow, I must have went Zoom.
You really did go Zoom. Sparko was very much in last for.
I basically should not have up A'd when I did and stairwelled back and tried to take the other stairs to get to where I needed to go, probably. And when I up A'd, I basically screwed myself.
I mean that's level 9, right? It's the great equalizer. This race definitely demonstrates level 9.
Yeah, I was guessing that there was a pathway from lower right to center to get up to top left that way, or at least get back to the stairwell section, and that was incorrect.
It certainly was
the
something.
other big thing that made a difference was the white sword.
Where was that?
It was up in the upper rightmost room of level 8.
So it's the item we left in level 8. Fantastic.
Yeah, only Sparko and Vanny got it, and that's because Sparko mismarked the item in level 8 and did not know that she had everything from it. And Vanny was trying to find the ladder and the bow in level 8 and did not find them.
Nice.
No, I found only garbage.
And we have a Vanny as well, apparently.
Yeah, we do. We have a forfeit as well. I'd like to get my Star Topics run done before I have to go to work in the morning. So
Hi.
So,
Valid.
I'm going to bed.
so
That's fair.
the status basically before Demi got into 9, you found the bow and got into 9, was that Demi and Vanny were basically tied for first place at that point. They both had all triangles but one, and not the bow and the ladder. And then Demi found it really quickly, and Vanny did not. And that was basically where the entry for Kat and Sparko to come in to level 9 came in.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry.
It's very late, especially on the East Coast. So
Right. I tried to get the magic sword with like one less heart than I have now, and it's like, no, sorry, you can't do it.
yeah, no one
that
got the magic sword.
It was definitely
No
not
one managed to get the magic sword. It was either 13 or 14 hearts. No one had
Gross.
above 12.
yeah, I was not too happy about trying to get it at 12 hearts and not being able to obtain it. That was not cool. Yo, shout out to Kills Little Monster for that raid as well.
What corner of the world? What corner of 9 was Zelda in?
Top left.
Top left.
Had to be top
Oh,
left.
cool. I haven't gone anywhere there. And there was a ladder block to get somewhere near there, and I don't have the. Oh right, I never got the ladder.
The ladder
that was
were
also
both
in
level 7.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
So how did y'all like my seed?
It was
We'll
great.
talk- we'll-
I
we'll
liked it
talk-
a lot.
We'll talk later, friend. We'll
How do
talk.
I enjoyed it
How did you
watching
get
it.
more Pole's voices in there than there normally are in the game? How'd you get every room to be a Pole's voice?
Cut the mic. I need to talk. That scene was fantastic.
Anyway, thank you for so much for running this. Thank you, Meg, for sitting here and putting up with my nonsense.
Your nonsense? What about my nonsense?
I mean, to be fair, we both had a fair bit of nonsense.
I suppose. I think we have to throw this over now, though.
Yeah,
Agreed.
let Vonnie beat his video game. Maybe it will go better than this rando. Surprise! He's secretly running a Star Tropics randomizer and he doesn't know it.
Oh,
That's not happening. That's not happening.
Is there a Star Tropics rando?
Yeah, I'll be starting one up in like about, hopefully, just a few minutes. Hopefully.
All right. Good luck, Fanny.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, Vonnie.
Good luck,
I
Bonnie.
hope you find the princess or the Zelda or whatever we were trying to do.
I'm actually looking for the Argonians in that one, yes.
Oh, yes. So it's Skyrim.
We are a little punchy here, and I think we really should just
All right.
all get a little bit of
Good night,
rest.
everybody. I'm gonna go. Love you.
Thanks,
All right,
everybody.
good night.
Thank you so much, Leggy and Meg, for the commentary. Good night.
Yes, thank you, Leggy and Meg, for doing that. Very
Yes,
cool.
You two are great.
Thank you.